Grant Denyer now.
It's Grant Denyer.
The gold logie this year. Oh my God, it's Grant Denyer.
And our mum, Shezzy Daniel. She's really crazy. And
George,
affectionately known
as Large Sarge. It's all true.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Shezzy Daniel.
and
George.
I think it's going to take me a while to get used to this. We had like 8 seasons of just Grant and Shezzy Daniel, and now and George is in there. I feel blessed. Thank you, guys. Welcome to the Quickie.
You loving it though? You loving it?
Well,
It's so good.
I'm loving it.
and Large Sarge. It could have been and Puggy, but it was.
I am glad you went with Large Sarge. It does a lot of things for my ego, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
It's important to keep that morale high, to be honest.
Yeah, so we that wasn't a term that we coined for him. That was
what you coined.
That was a term because we don't know, I don't know how you describe yourself. I don't know, what you're packing in downstairs. But this was your request. So if people are going, what are they talking about? Are they saying he's like tall and massive, or are they saying what? Look, this, just go with it.
Oh yeah,
It's like a song. It's like a song, Someone writes a song and people go, leave it up to interpretation. You can take it however you want it.
Yeah.
The Large Sarge.
Yeah, it's good. It sort of hits on different levels, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And we'll leave it at that.
Hey, if you're wondering why, we're sounding a little rough here this morning because, it has been a big night the other night, the Logies.
yeah. I know. It's 2 days since the Logies and I'm still sounding rough.
Yeah.
But you know what? To be fair, it's very noisy, and to have a conversation, which apparently I did.
With every single person.
you
All
have to
600
talk pretty
of them.
loud. So we sound pretty rough. But we're all good.
I wanted to bring to the table today, guys, sleep-ins, because when we all caught up over lunch about a month ago, I was telling you guys a story about one of my first journalist gigs where I'd have to get up early in the morning, about 4:30, and go in and read the news bulletins. And I was doing this in a place that was quite warm, 40 degrees. Was the top temperature at this place, and I got a bit dehydrated. I started to lack in fluids. So I was very unwell. I got there in the morning and got my shift done and said to the boss, "Hey, I need to go home. I need to go and rest." So I did that. I went home and slept through till about 4:30, 5 o'clock that afternoon. But I woke up and looked on the phone and saw 4:30, 5 o'clock. I'm like, oh shit, I'm late for work again. So I went to work and it was in the afternoon, and the boss is like, George, what the heck are you doing here? You've already been here this morning. You're not doing the afternoon shift. Like, dude, get yourself to the hospital. So I did that, and it turns out I was severely dehydrated, and they didn't have enough beds at the hospital. So I went home, and it turns out that back home, there had been a murder next door to where I was living.
Oh my God, where were you living?
What?
A little place called Deniliquin in northern Victoria, southern Riverina.
Right.
Murder capital of Australia.
It is now, yeah. And I've been hallucinating and dreaming, and I'm like, shit, did I kill somebody? Did I potentially kill someone?
Because of course you didn't even know. You were confused by what day it was, what time of the day it was, and whether you needed to be at home or at work. So you in this stupor that you're in this heat-induced stupor, you've concluded maybe I murdered them.
Well, on my door, there is a number. Contact this number, and it's Crime Stoppers. They end up coming to my house and questioning me and saying, where have you been in the past 24 hours? And I say, look, I have been sweating. I have been, I've had temperatures. I've been blacking out. I've been hallucinating. I've just been to the hospital. And look, turns out I didn't do it, which is great.
I'm surprised he didn't lock you up on the spot and go, guilty, throw away the key. We found him. We've got him.
Yeah.
Were you
That could have been
genuinely
me done.
concerned that you might have done something that you couldn't remember?
Yeah, for a moment there, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is wild. This is really, really crazy. But no, it wasn't. I can definitely confirm it wasn't me. But they'd go around questioning other people in the neighborhood. So, yeah, that was my sleep-in story. Or I guess I was a bit eager to go to work that day.
Oh, classic. You nearly did 2 shifts in one day.
He loves his job so much he went twice.
Far out.
Didn't get paid, though. Stitch up.
Well, I remember when I slept through an alarm, I was working for Today Tonight, and, Sonia Kruger's husband, Craig McPherson, was my boss, and I had to do the Saturday shift, and I had to...
Gold Logie winning.
Sonia Kruger. And I remember I had a bit of a cold coming on, so I took 2 nighttime cold and flu tablets. That's what the chemist told me to do, and then slept through my alarm, which I don't ever do because I'm a bounce out of bed in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so-
You'd never do, right?
and drove to Channel 7 with my pajama pants on because I woke up and went, oh my God, I've got a conference call at 7 a.m. And I think I lived in Hornsby at this time.
That's a big drive-in.
That's a big drive-in. Sped straight down the highway. I was only young, shouldn't do that. And I remember turning up and Matthew White and Joe Griggs had just arrived as well because they used to do the Saturday or Sunday sport show or something from Channel 7, and I pushed past them. They were like, nice pants, because I had pajama pants on. Got 2 speeding fines, and it was a long weekend and lost double points.
Sugar. That's
Yeah,
a bad day.
Bugger.
I know, and I was so tired.
You were in the news headlines.
I nearly was. Yeah, I nearly was. It was before the "Don't die for a head." What was it? Don't. No.
A very successful campaign.
Don't die for a. Oh God! What?
Deadline.
Deadline. Thank you. I was going to say headline. Oh, brain's not working.
Some people would.
Oh my God. Rocking up in your PJs. I love the fact that you said that you never do that. You never sleep in.
I don't.
Because it literally only just a little bit more than 24 hours ago, you slept in.
I just realised
we
that.
missed a live radio appearance, not even on the phone, in studio appearance on Today FM in Sydney with Husey, Ed and Erin.
I'm really sorry.
So when the call came in and said, look, hey, would you guys like to come on our show on Monday after the Logies? Shezzy was like, should we do it? I said, yeah, it should be good fun. And she goes, yeah, this is really good. This is really good. This
said,
will
we
be
can
fun.
do it,
We'll love
yeah.
it. We're not going to have a big night. It's going to be great. And so she was committed. And I
was committed.
saw how she started the night in terms of the champagne was a flowing. And I thought, this is becoming less and less likely to be a reality, this radio appearance, with every glass that goes down. Mm-hmm. When she slipped over onto the way to the bathroom and did the splits, even though she actually can't, she has no flexibility to do the splits, but she did the splits in a fall on the way to the Dunnies. I thought, okay.
Very graceful.
This radio interview's now clearly off. But she stayed committed. Now, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
2:30 a.m. We're on the dance floor, swinging her shoes around. She's barefoot on the broken glass, having the time of her life. I'm going, no radio tomorrow. She's like, yeah, there is. We're going on air.
Yep. I set 2 alarms. I set 2 alarms so that I would wake up.
She
Didn't wake up.
The alarms were ringing for, I think, 45 minutes, right? And she hasn't even stirred. She hasn't reached over. She hasn't rolled. I thought she was dead. She hasn't taken a breath.
I think I was.
So she hasn't heard these alarms, and then we've missed the radio interview, and they've paid out on us like something shocking.
Everybody else has made it that morning. Like I think they had
Larry Emder was
they
there.
had Sonia, they had Shayna Blaze, they had like a whole heap of people. We didn't turn up.
Miss Jim Beam here wasn't able to function. Okay.
Oopsies.
So they've paid out on us all morning. Played some audio from the red carpet where we were shooting off jokes and saying how we're going to
Have a big
time
night.
of life, and maybe I'll leave with my wife, maybe I'll leave with another person.
And we were just joking at that.
Just jokes.
At that point, we actually didn't even know if we were really going to go to the after party. Like we weren't having a big night.
No, but
Somewhere along the line that changed.
Things changed.
and then comes the great whodunit. So the radio station then wanted to kind of blow this case wide open, and then they separated us, interviewed us individually, like it was a police operation, like it was someone who lives next door to George. They wanted to find out independently what our exact stories were, and then they wanted to cross-check them to see who was lying, or indeed if there was a lie.
But there was no lie. It was legit. They didn't believe that anybody could sleep through an alarm. And you know what? If somebody had said to me that they had slept through an alarm, I wouldn't probably have believed them. Cause
After the amount of vomiting that you had done, the seven circles of hell had flown out of your mouth. I saw your soul leave your body. You vomited that hard.
oh, okay. That's enough.
So I
you.
don't think you were ever going to be in shape. And I don't believe the sleeping through the alarms is indeed the truth as the reason why we couldn't get there. It was the state in which you arrived home that probably had more to do with the fact.
You know, I still would have probably gone if I heard the alarm.
Well, GD, you said you heard the alarm.
Yeah, good point, George.
Couldn't you have just gone and done the interview by yourself?
No, but the OH&S representative within me was like, you know what, I can't, it would be irresponsible for me to put my wife in that situation where she was broadcasting live on air in this state. You know what I mean? I think it would have been irresponsible of me as a dedicated and loving husband.
You could have even just shaken me and said, hey, Shez, your alarm's going off. It has been going. It took somebody to come into the room ready to clean it because they thought that we should have been checked out.
They were literally vacuuming around us while we were lying on the bed, surrounded by what was only the remnants of
a club
two club
sandwich.
sandwiches. And they very kindly just picked the pieces of the lettuce just off our chests and gently just said, hey, you guys, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, it wasn't.
Are you
that
dead?
late.
This is a welfare check.
Do you know how bad it was? We had the porter come to collect our bags 4 times and I hadn't moved. I was still in my pajamas.
Poor bloke.
Yeah. So, yes, okay, I have slept in, but I've never really slept through an alarm. But you have, haven't you?
Oh, tons. Well, you're making breakfast television. Oh, actually, not as many as you would think, considering how intense that lifestyle was. Yeah, I would have thought I would have done that a hell of a lot more.
I remember towards the end where you were so exhausted and Grant used to sleep in between every live cross. Do you remember that?
I'd have to go back to the car, the cameraman's car, and just
sleep.
And
yeah.
they'd wake me up 5 minutes before the next cross.
And we'd be like, stand up, just wave. It was like Weekend at Bernie's because he was just so tired. Mind you, we didn't really know you had chronic fatigue, but...
No, not at that stage, but it was... Well, the signs were there.
No, the signs were there.
You probably should have listened to those signs.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Probably should have done something about that a little earlier than we did.
Yeah, because everyone was like, gee, Grant's sleeping a lot. And I was like, yeah, he does. Actually, that's one thing that people often say to me. They're like, God, how on earth do you put up with Grant's Energizer energy all the time?
Because it's not all the time.
Yeah. And I'm like...
I save it for when I work.
Yeah, old Mr. Sleepy. You do like a sleepy.
I feel so bad because with the back end, I've been doing weather for 8 years at that point, and people would want to come out and stand in the background of the live shot from wherever you were, right? Maybe you're in a small country town, maybe you're in a capital city, and they want to either hold a sign up or just come and see you, say g'day, hang out and chat. And, for the first 7.5 years, I was more than happy to do that. But in that sort of last 6 months, they'd come, I'd do a live cross. I go, excuse me, I'll be back in a second, go to the newscast, sleep. Just to try and bank whatever I could to try and get my energy levels back up. Come out, deliver a reasonable cross, do a good job, have a quick word, then go back and have another sleep before the next cross. Yeah, it was...
Actually, we've had some fairly good chats with current weathermen, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty
He was our
interesting.
producer at the time. And he could understand why we were so unmotivated.
No, why you were so exhausted. But it was...
He goes, this is the greatest job in the world. Why are you sleeping so tight? Why don't you want to travel? Come on.
Yeah.
And he was new to the game, so it was really exciting. And then we bumped into him the other day, and he's now...
At the Logies.
He's now a weatherman on one of the channels. And he's like, I understand now.
I get it.
I get it now.
He's like, it is exhausting. I don't know how you did it for so long. And even with a family,
And this poor bloke, he was producing me at that time, and so he was getting frustrated because he he was doing a great job and wanted to go to ends of the earth and make all these, impossible locations work, which was awesome. But when you've been doing it for that long, and I was clearly about to run into a very big brick wall, he couldn't understand why I just didn't have that zest, that energy or excitement to want to do it. But it was nice when he turned in the other day and goes, I completely understand now.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
And it's actually good because we're able to say, you should do this and you should do that to, protect yourself. Because hindsight is a fabulous thing. God, that was a very long quickie.
We ran
15
too
minutes.
long in that. We let our health suffer for too long before learning and listening to the signs. So at least we can now, with wisdom, say to him, listen to your body, take it seriously, learn from us, so he doesn't have to endure through that as well. But it was nice to hear him apologize for not being, for not being as sensitive
But
about
also,
it back then.
we're talking like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Chronic fatigue was not a thing back there. Nobody really knew about that. Whereas now people are, and you've got social media, so you can talk. I don't know where I'm
Take
going
away
with
from
that.
today, if you're sleeping in, you might have chronic fatigue.
Yeah, I think that's the takeaway. Headline.
That's exactly what I had yesterday morning when I missed that radio interview.
Exactly.
This is chronic fatigue.
Just like TikTok. See one TikTok about ADHD. Now we've all got it. God damn it. It's another condition I've just picked up just by watching TikTok. I got to start watching TikTok. I'm picking up all these conditions.
Oh my God.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Set your alarm.
Don't sleep through. Don't die for a headline.
Deadline.
Don't get questioned for murder.
Drink your water.
Eloquent.
Drink your water.
Any.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Shezzy Denya.
Bye